here today. We're recording this meeting, so just keep that in mind. If there's certain things that you might not want to say. So far, we don't have anybody on the Zoom component, but you never know if somebody might join. I want to thank, first of all, introduce myself for those that don't know. I'm Ev McDowell, and I'm co-leader of the group, and Lisa Bowden is sitting there, the other co-leader, and her son Jeff has been helping us with the technical part of having a hybrid meeting. I really appreciate that. I'd like to ask the steering committee people to stand up, please. I won't say all the names, but this is, not everyone's here, but a good group of you. And the walk committee, you might as well keep standing. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to thank all the members that have given us a donation today for the year membership. That's really, really appreciated and really helps us with our expenses. Just a reminder about the masks that it's fine to take a sip of your coffee or water, just keep in mind to put them back up to protect everybody. Our next meeting, tentative date is Saturday, May 11th, with Dr. Lusada speaking about clinical trials. And I just want to say tentative in case something comes up for her. Oh, I'm hoping. And then next week, on Thursday and Friday from 10 to 2, we're actually going to have a myeloma awareness day at the cancer clinic. And this will be the first time in 3 years. So it'll be down in the lower level. And the first day we'll have Helen Manchie from Myeloma Canada with us. So it was her idea to do one, and we got permission, so it's really good. Also wanted to mention about this March is Myeloma Awareness Month. So a lot of you already know. And Lisa applied to the city, and City of London is proclaimed March 2023 is Multiple Myeloma Awareness Month. So we're really pleased with that. And City Hall, Canada Life, and the RBC building will be lit up in Burgundy from March 27th to April 2nd. So it'll be fun. Some of us will probably go down and stand by the lights like we did last year. And just to mention the walk this year is September the 10th. We've just started to make plans, but it's going to be a hybrid walk, so there'll be opportunity to walk at the Dorchester Fairgrounds or just wherever you want in your neighborhood. And finally, I'd like to introduce the speaker today. Tracey Jones is the Executive Director of Wellspring, London and Region, and Stratford, and has worked in a role for the past 4 years. Prior to coming to Wellspring, Tracey was the National Director of Programs and Services for Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada for nearly 6 years, overseeing their research and advocacy portfolios, as well as their programs and support services across the country and internationally. Her educational background includes a BA from Western in anthropology, and she is currently slogging through, her words, to finish a master's program in interdisciplinary studies with a focus on work, organization, and leadership through Athabasca University. When Tracey isn't working or studying, you can find her traveling throughout the world, hanging out with her 2 teenage sons, 16 and 19, and her cat, or hiking trails throughout our beautiful country and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for inviting us today to share a little bit of information about Wellspring. I know that some of you may be familiar with Wellspring, others may not have heard of us, so it's a real great opportunity for us to be able to share our community and hopefully welcome you in with open arms. I'm just gonna get you to start the slideshow. Perfect, so next slide. So just a little bit about us. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Wellspring, go ahead to the next slide. For those of you who are not familiar with us, we are a network of Wellspring organizations across the country. And there are 3 locations in Alberta, and there are 6 locations that are in Ontario here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But really, we're a network of community-based centers which provide emotional, social, psychological, and informational support. So really, at all of our centers, this is kind of the crux of why we exist, looking at those 4 pillars to ensure that not only people affected by cancer, but people who are supporting people affected by cancer are also being supported. Next. So as I said, there are 9 physical centers, so we have listed out all of the different centers. So there's 3 in the GTA. So Sunnybrook Hospital has 1, Birmingham Gilligan is in Oakville, and then our well on the Web. We have Wellspring Chinguacousy, which is located in Brampton. We have Wellspring Niagara, Wellspring London and Region, which comprises a physical location here in London, but also in Stratford. And then we have 3 in Alberta, 2 in Calgary, and 1 in Edmonton. Next. So some of the different things that Wellspring really helps with are managing stress, health restoration and rehabilitation, looking at reducing fear, providing information and education to people in successful transitions back into the workforce, and also looking at financial advice and management. So through our Wellspring Canada, we have a wonderful program called Money Matters that will link people to one-on-one caseworkers to be able to go through some of the financial aspects of cancer and what that means and where there are resources that are available. Next. So some of the things, how do we provide sort of the services that we do? Provide access to experience, knowledge, and understanding of peers. So we have a really fantastic support program through our physical centers, our peer-to-peer support programs. We teach non-invasive take-home coping strategies. So through some of the programming that I'm going to mention, you'll see that there's a theme throughout that basically helps you to learn some strategies that feel right for you, that you can take home and use in your everyday life. We provide guidance and practical advice from experienced professionals. So we have a lot of great lunch and learn programs. We have educational speakers from time to time. And we provide a confidential and safe environment. So I think that's one of the things that we're most proud of, that you can walk into any Wellspring and know that what's said in Wellspring stays in Wellspring, and that you can feel safe sharing whatever it is that you need to share in that space. Okay, next please. Wellspring London and Region. So just a little bit of history on our location here in London. We opened in October 2000, so we've been open now for 23 years almost. And we were opened by the Women's Christian Association as the first affiliate outside of the Greater Toronto area. So located in London, we are inside of the YMCA at Centre Branch. So if you have been to that Y downtown, that's where we're located, inside there. But originally we started on Hyman Street in an old heritage house on Hyman Street, and we moved to the Y probably about, I want to say about 11 or 12 years ago now, and we've been there ever since. We currently have a membership here in London and region of about 4,800 people, but actively in our center, we see between 500 to 700 any given year, which means that we have 500 to 700 people that are actively involved in the various programs that we have, that we offer. So Wellspring London is driven by a dedicated team of 80 volunteers. So we are a small but mighty team, and we rely heavily on volunteers in our community to be able to run our programs and make the operations work. So just a few examples, we have 5 staff that are located in our London office. We have 28 professional program leaders. So as we go through some of the programs, you'll see that part of Wellspring, in order to be sustainable and have credentials, we have people that are professionals within sort of their fields being able to facilitate our programs that we offer. Some of the volunteer roles that we also have include front desk, peer support, our speakers bureau. We do Reiki and therapeutic touch practitioners within our office space, and we also have support group co-facilitators. So our support groups are always led by professionals, but they will have co-facilitators often that are volunteers that would be helping them with support groups. We opened a satellite program in October of 2006 in Stratford, and they are located at 55 Lorne Ave. So if any of you are familiar with Stratford, sort of on your way in, there's a business park just behind the Tim Hortons and the Harveys. We are located there, and we've actually just moved there not even a year ago. We were located in an old heritage home that was located on Wall Street. And we were there for, I want to say, about 14 years, but we just recently made the move to Lord Ave. We're supported by a team of 18 community volunteers that really help to run the programs over there. We have one office manager over there, and our community volunteers are people that help do all the fundraising and all of that sort of thing. So they really help to keep the wheels turning in that community. One thing about Wellspring, just to be aware of, is that we do not have any government funding. So all of the funds raised it's really important that you're aware that we don't have government funding. It's all raised through community donations, through grants that we get, and the support of donors. So this is just a really interesting little map, and I want to say, COVID's been such an interesting time for so many different organizations, and our organization in particular has really had to navigate through very different waters, and I'm sure that you guys can appreciate this as well. Before COVID, when I started back in 2019, Wellspring was very much an in-person based service organization, which meant that although geographically we covered almost all of southwestern Ontario, the reality was that we didn't cover it well because anybody who was outside of the London area or the Stratford area really didn't have access to our programs because we didn't have anything online at that one point. So we put it into our strategic plan that we were going to start providing some support groups and different things in a virtual platform to be able to do more outreach in the communities. And then bam, COVID happened. So that plan got thrust into action. It was sort of like in our plans, we were going to get to it, but then it got pushed into action in about a 2-week time frame when we realized that we needed to really rally around and make sure that our members were getting still what they needed and the supports that they needed. And although we didn't know how long COVID was going to last, we now realize that, almost 3 years later, that we are still just on the tail end of coming out of COVID. So this is really an introduction to the story of where our members are coming from, because before you would see very much that big center around London, that big center around Stratford, that's where our membership came from. Now this is what it looks more like today. So we have over 40 communities within Ontario that have members coming in and that are participating in all of our virtual programs. And so it really has allowed us to do way more outreach and connect with people in our area in a much more impactful and meaningful way. So if there's a silver lining to COVID, this map says to me, this is what it is, that we've now been able to really do much more outreach, and we're helping people that we've never been able to help before. Okay, next. So just talking a little bit about our funding. So donations are sort of the primary source. So in any given year, it takes about $750,000 for us to be able to operate Wellspring and to be able to serve our members. One of the things that Wellspring across the country ensures is that all of our programs are low cost. So any single person in this room today could come down, they could be a member of Wellspring, they could participate in any and all of our programs, and it wouldn't cost you a dime to be able to do that. And that's something that's very, very important to us, that we want to give the resources and the supports without having any sort of financial burden or cost. So these are just some of the examples of how we get some of our donations coming through. So some people leaving us one-time gifts, other people leaving us monthly donations, in honor donations, in memoriam donations, planned gifts such as bequest securities or life insurance. So just having people think about those things. It's not something that necessarily is easy to talk about, but we're all kind of making plans. And so thinking about a charity such as Wellspring or another charity that is meaningful to you is something to give thought to, that that funds that you potentially would have, that you would want to go forward to support a cause, will have a big impact in charities such as us. Next. That's okay. Again, so I mentioned just other donations that we get, corporations, foundations, and associations. So we're constantly looking for funds to be able to fund that $750,000 that we need to be able to operate each year to keep our program at no cost. So some of the events that we do that you may be familiar with, our biggest event happened last night in that snowstorm that we call Battle of the Bands. And so that particular event last night, we ended very, very successful in raising $106,000. And it was 4 bands that basically battled to get a trophy, and people come out and cheer on the bands, and we have lots of sponsorship. It's a fun night. But that is our biggest, that's our biggest fundraiser of the year. And then some other things that we look at are major gifts nights, our Walk for Wellspring, which also is happening on September 10th. And our walk in Stratford will likely be happening the weekend of September 24th. So those are other events. Our Light Up campaign usually happens around Christmas, where people can buy a candle, and you can either put the name of somebody that is in memory of somebody or in honor of somebody who's maybe currently going through cancer, who is a survivor. Our golf tournaments, barbecues, and then bowling tournaments are some of the other events that we have supporting us. Other third-party events, these are just, I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are just an example of some of the things that people in our community have kind of come up with to be able to support us and give us the funds directly to go back into our program. So extremely, extremely grateful for the community to think of us in this way. Next. Friends of Wellspring. So our Friends of Wellspring are a group, they're a volunteer group that basically do a lot of fundraising throughout the year to be able to support our programs directly. They're responsible for bringing in about 15 to 20,000 of those funds per year, and they do it through things like craft sales, garage sales, they have euchre nights, they have raffles, all kinds of different things. And it's the most amazing group of volunteers that really just come together. They're crafty people, or they have friends who are crafty people, and these are the things that they do throughout the year. So very, very fortunate to have this group to continue our fundraising with our programs at the forefront of their mind. Next. Okay, so becoming a member. So how do you become a member? So I'm here today, I'm here sharing information about it, and really this is exactly where it starts. I want to just extend a very warm welcome to each of you to say there is no need for a referral. You don't have to get a referral from a social worker, doctor, nothing like that. A referral from a friend or anything. Just know about us, reach out, and come down. And there is no cost to join, so that's something that's very, very important. And in some cases could be prohibitive, but there's absolutely no cost to join. You can either register online, or you can register in person when the center is open. So currently our center is open on Monday to Fridays from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. And you can come into the center, you can meet with a peer support person, we can take you on a tour, you can register on the spot, or you can register from home, and then you will be included in all of the information that is being sent out, but any of the programs that we have going on. And then register for programs in person, by phone, or by email. So at any point, you're most welcome to give a call. One thing I always recommend to people is if you're new to Wellspring, it's really wonderful to come down to our center, take a little bit of a tour, get one of our calendars, because it shows you right in front what we have as far as programmings that are happening, and then you'll get a feel for what's going to work for you as far as programs that you may not have even known existed, or what's going to be a right fit for you. So I highly recommend, if you do have the opportunity, to come down and have a tour. Next. Our Wellspring programs. So regardless of where you're at the cancer journey, our Wellspring programs and services are designed to meet the specific needs of our members. So this is true in that somebody who is just been diagnosed with cancer is just as welcome to step through the doors of Wellspring as somebody who has had cancer or who previously had cancer 15 years ago. There is no timeline as to when you are able to utilize the supports of Wellspring. And that's what we've heard. We've heard that many people say, you know what, when I was first diagnosed, I used the supports of Wellspring, but 5 or 6 or 10 years later, they're coming back and using the supports again because there's a fear of recurrence, or something's changed in their lives that maybe is triggering some things that maybe they didn't deal with at that time, or something emotional is triggering. So there is no timeline on when you can use the supports of Wellspring. We're here for good. Next. So some of our educational things, our Be Well Talks, are self-paced learning, and they can be found at www.wellspring.ca. We have a program called Will Good Feel Better, and that is a program that really is great. They have Will Good Feel Better for both men, but also for women. And it really is kind of just understanding your own self-image and what you can do to reinstill that confidence again. Nourish Education, so we have a fabulous program called Nourish, which focuses on dietary considerations with cancer. And then our lending library, we've got a wonderful little library that you're welcome to use any of the materials and take them out on a lending basis. Symptom management, so some of the things that we look at include Reiki, brain fog, meditation, breathing, wellness, and cancer-related fatigue. So these are definitely some of the topics that are covered in our symptom management. Within the Be Well Talks, a lot of these topics are in there for you to go in at any point in time and watch videos or anything like that on as well. Our individual and group support. So we have support groups for bereavement, breast cancer. We do a sharing circle. Caregivers living with chronic cancer, men's group, ovarian cancer, and pancreatic cancer are all cancer topics that are specific that we additionally provide supports for support groups. Peer support, so bladder cancer, chronic cancer, myeloma, ovarian cancer, and pancreatic cancer. These are types of cancers that we have identified within our volunteers that they've willingly volunteered to share with us that's the type of cancers that they have had. So in doing so, we're able to peer match when we have a new person that's diagnosed. We're able to do a peer match program to be able to provide peer support that's specific to that type of cancer. So exercise and movement, so aquafit, qigong, yoga, and cancer exercise are all programs that we run that are specific to exercise and movement within cancer. Therapeutic arts. So we have art therapy, and our art therapy currently is a program that we're offering both online and in our center, art therapy specifically in our center in Stratford. We have Journey Through Words, so that is a writing program that's being done virtually. Our knit and crochet circle, that's a hybrid circle, so you can actually come into the center and participate, or you can do it from home. And then art journaling is a new program that we had just introduced in January. Hugely successful. Lisa has taken that program herself and just said it was just amazing, and it really was. And that's an in-person program that we're offering in our center as well. Financial and workplace strategies. So I talked a little bit about the Money Matters program. Returning to work, cancer in the workplace, and wellness at work. So these are all topics of workplace strategies. And again, being able to set somebody up with a case manager to be able to work individually with you is really, really helpful in just kind of getting your mind around what that looks like and what feels right for you with any financial and workplace strategies. Children's program. So this is kind of new for us here at Wellspring. We hadn't really ever focused on children so much before, but now we are doing music therapy and art therapy in partnership with Child Canada. These are 4 siblings of children who have had cancer. So we are focused right now on the siblings and providing supports for them through music therapy and art therapy. And then we have a program called Just Show Up that we are just launching at the end of March. And this is for children between the ages of 16 to 13 who have a parent or a guardian that has cancer or is diagnosed with cancer. So any of those children are welcome to be part of our 8-week program that really is looking at being connected with other kids who have a parent or guardian that has been diagnosed with cancer, and providing a kind of network. They're providing social interactions, fun, but also a safe place where people can talk openly about their feelings and understand that they are not alone in this at that age. That's all that I have, and I'm very happy to answer any questions. I hope that I haven't rushed through. I did want to show you that I've brought along just a little brochure of who we are along with my business card. So we have a pile of them over there, so please, please, please take one. As I said, we have the most warm and welcoming center, and when you go into the YMCA and you kind of come up to that front desk, just say you're visiting here to visit Wellspring, and they'll let you right on through, and then you just come right into our office. You don't need an appointment to show up. You're most welcome to just show up. But an appointment is often a great thing, so that we have a staff that's available to take you around, or a peer support person that can take you around and give you a proper tour. But it's absolutely not necessary. There is free parking at the YMCA, so parking is available. It can get tight in there sometimes with lots of people coming to work out, but definitely there is parking that's available there as well. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, or if there's anything that I have missed. Yeah? Did you bring the calendar? I did not bring the calendar, but what I would recommend is if you go into our website, Valerie had mentioned the calendar specifically because I said, they're going to want the calendar, I know that. So, but she said it was a lot to be able to print off at that time, especially with our battle last night, to be honest with you. But if you go into our website, the calendar that I was mentioning that everyone really should take a peek at is right on our website. So it's really great, and it's done up each month. So it changes every month to show kind of what programs are on at what time, because it may be that, an art therapy program is great for you, but unfortunately mornings aren't great for you. So when you see in the calendar that art therapy starts at 10 a.m., it may not work for you, but the art therapy that starts at 1:30 does. So it'll give you a great idea as far as timing, when things are happening, what things are happening at the times, and how you enroll for that. Sometimes some of our programs are in blocks of times as well. So we might get you to, for example, to register for Nourish, and you know that Nourish is a 2-part series, so it's for 2 weeks here, or it's for 5 weeks, or it comes in kind of blocks of time that you're committing to. I think for any of our aquafit programs, I want to say they run for about 8 weeks, and it's once per week. So when you commit to that program, you're committing to come, not on a drop-in basis per se, but you're committing to come for that 8 weeks for your spot to be held. Not all programs are like that, some are drop-in, but that's sort of how we work. And as I say, with my business card, you'll see the website. Feel free to go in and take a gander, because you'll find that the schedule is in there. Thanks, Heather. Any other questions, or? Perfect. Well, I hope that I have 21 new members at the end of the day. Sorry, did you have a question at the back? Yep.
I'm assuming they have a pool, they're using a pool at the YMCA.
That's exactly why we chose the YMCA to partner with. So we're very, very fortunate that we have an amazing, amazing relationship with our Y both here in London and in Stratford. And as such, with the collaborative partnership, we are allowed to use the exercise facilities as well as the pool, which is different than any other wellspring that you would encounter in all of Canada. So we're very fortunate in that, yes. So to answer your question, we do.
Okay, not quite though. There's a YMCA in Wortley Village, if I'm not mistaken, is there not?
There is that YMCA in Wortley Village is only an administrative building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do programming out of the YMCA Center Branch. Some of our programs are also at what used to be called the YMCA Bostwick. So the one down in the South End, and we're looking to start some programming at the YMCA Stony Creek as well.
Okay, so it's just the one spot in London.
Well, we have, if you check the calendar, you would see that that the Aquafit program runs out of the one in Center Branch, and it also runs out of the one, which it used to be called Bostwick, I think it's called Start.ca. But this, our actual center, like if you were coming in for a tour of our center, you're only located in the YMCA Center Branch. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is the pool club, sorry, I didn't see the question again. Is a pool class specific to Wellspring, or sure there's other people? So it's specific to Wellspring. So we have, again, usually we have two classes that are running often at the same time, different days is what I mean. So there may be one in the South End at the Bostwick Center, one at Center Branch, but they are specific to Wellspring, and we hire our own Aquafit instructors for that specific class. Yeah, and it's limited availability. So there is oftentimes like limited capacity for that. Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah.
Is there a big cost?
There's no cost at all. None of these programs have any cost at all.
So when you go in to use the facilities?
That's right. When you come in to use the facilities, if you're a registered member of Wellspring and you are signing up to be able to be a part of our Aquafit class, then the Y knows that you are a member of Wellspring and that you'll be using our facilities signed up to that specific class. If you were signed up to use our cancer exercise program, then we have it set up that you would be using the facilities and the equipment for that specific program. So it's not like we have people just kind of wandering throughout the Y, just randomly using equipment as like a free membership. It's not like that. We have specific programs that we are running through Wellspring using their facilities, but there's no cost. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is, and that actually, the cancer exercise program is amazing. It's probably one of the best programs that I can say, like, truly that we're so proud of. It's not just it's not usually based on like a group kind of exercise program. What it is you're actually meeting with a physiotherapist. So they will customize a specific exercise program based on you, where you're at, your health and that sort of thing, and then they work through it with you for a 20-week, it's 20 sessions is what I should say. So depending on if you're doing it once a week, it would be over a 20-week period, or if you're doing 2 sessions a week, then it would be like a 10-week period, but it's 20 sessions that are included in that, and that's going to start up again in the fall. Yeah. Any other questions? Great questions, guys. Yeah.
I would like to know, last November I was at Westmont Mall and Wellspring had a sales table there.
Yes.
And I want to know, do you have a fundraiser just that one time, or do you?
No, what you saw was our Friends of Wellspring that I spoke of. So they do at Westmount every year. They've been doing a big craft sale at Christmas. So that's an annual craft sale, but we also do other craft sales at different times of the year and different fundraisers. So as a member of Wellspring, if you signed up to be a member, you would get notified of all of the different sales that are happening and when they're happening, where they're happening. Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, one more back there.
I'm wondering how accommodative the yoga program would be for people with perhaps a disability attached to their cancer. Would it be just a general yoga class?
Our yoga instructors are they're very aware of the fact that they are serving a population of people with cancer, or they're potentially serving some caregivers or spouses would be in there, but typically, so they're very, very aware of the fact that it's usually a gentle type of yoga. It's not strenuous at all. There's different yoga programs as well that we are offering. So, for example, if you wanted to try a chair yoga program, we have a wonderful instructor. She's based in Stratford, but from your living room, you could participate in the chair yoga program if that suits your needs, and you could be a part of that group every week. So there's different yoga programs that will suit whatever your abilities are, but they're all fairly gentle in that we're serving a population with cancer. And even if somebody is just dealing with the fatigue of treatment and that sort of thing, that's enough to sort of make us very conscientious of not pushing people too hard.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else? I'm sorry I'm monopolizing your time here. I hope that's okay. Everybody will have my card, and feel free at any point in time to call down to our center or send an email if there's other questions that you thought of after the presentation. I do hope that you'll drop in and say hello and meet our team and take a tour and enjoy a coffee or some cookies. That's what we're there. We're considered like a nice warm hug when you walk in to our center. That's what we kind of pride ourselves on, that we want it to feel like a home for you to come in and enjoy the supports that we provide and meet other people. I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is that people not feel alone, and groups exactly like this and our Wellspring Center really brings people together in a meaningful way so that you understand that you're not alone. So, and again, just to reiterate, this is all for people who have cancer as well as their spouses or caregivers. All of the programming is available to both. Yeah. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Tracy. I benefited, even this week, I was there for a lunch and learn. Yeah, Super Tuesday, but I didn't know if it would be virtual or not, but there was a physiotherapist doing a presentation on exercise, which is an interest of mine, and she's actually back later this month.
So she'll be back for the next 2 months at the end of each month.
Okay.
March and April.
Right, and the next one is actually bone health and something else.
I think there was a whole, maybe 4 or something, I think.
Yeah, and so bone health, that should get all of our attention, whether it is lunchtime, so it depends on your availability, but it was also available virtual. Make your own soup and watch online. It was very, very good information to hear as well. But yeah, I've benefited from Wellspring. I hope people will look into it and enjoy. Well, Lisa and I did the journaling, and with the virtual art therapy, they arrived at my door with a bag of watercolors, paintbrushes. It's like, wow, it's really, they're generous, and I didn't realize I needed the therapy part. You're doing your painting, and it came time to share, and I had to catch my breath because it's like, you get talking about your experiences and what you're going through, and yeah, it was a good experience all around. I recommend it. And thank you for taking time on a Saturday to join us, and we really appreciate it.
Excellent. Enjoy your day, everyone. Thank you so much.